All right.
So, folks, thanks for being here with us tonight. And for those of you in Australia, thanks for being here tomorrow. And we got a special guest, Daniel Whitehead, DW, and he's going to be talking a little bit about marketing. So, a little bit about marketing. DW, how long have you been with Sisel now? You've been there a little bit longer than I have.
Maybe so. 12, 12, and 12 is when we started. 2012, 12th month, 12th date.
12, 12, 12. No kidding.
Yeah, we didn't realize that until after it was over. Until we did it.
There you go.
Isn't that right, Heather? 12, 12, 12. 12, 12, 12 it is.
12, 12, 12. Well, there we go. There you go. So you've been there for almost 12 years. I mean, almost 10 years.
How long? Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
9.5 years here, a little bit. So yeah, we're heading on. I think when we get to December, it'll be 10 years.
All right.
So that is the deal.
Well, you've built a heck of a business. So it's the top of the hour. I'm going to get this thing started. Folks, thanks for being here with us tonight. If you joined us live on Facebook or on Zoom, thanks for being here and taking some time out of your day. I know it's, late in the morning down in Australia. It's late at night on Friday night here in North America. And I have my special guest, a friend of mine, DW, Daniel Whitehead. And DW, thanks for taking the time out of your evening. I know Friday nights are date night and you and your wife could be out doing something, but here you are working.
Oh, we love it. It's an honor to be with you, Doc. You've been amazing to us and just one of our best running buddies. And we've done quite a bit on the health side when we was doing our health talks there for a while. And that's how we got started, you and I, working together. And then you come to Denver once in a while and get a little snack and have fun. And then we'd see you at events. And so we've built just a trust relationship, which is what this business is all about.
It really is, isn't it? It's all about trust and camaraderie. Learning how to have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, are we live? Are we good to go?
Oh, we're live. We're live. Yeah, everything we're doing right now is being recorded, and we're live on Facebook. We're live in Australia. We're live across the globe. DW.
Well, my Aussie buddies, man, it's Saturday for them, so. It's Saturday morning, I think, isn't it? Good morning to those guys.
11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I love it. And so everybody else, we don't know where you're at, but we're glad you're here. Miss Helen and I, we're in Morrison, Colorado, which is a little bit west of Denver. We're about 22 miles to downtown Denver, and you can look through a canyon and we can see downtown Denver. Depends on the weather, you know how that goes. But you got
that really great pizza place up there.
Oh man, we got some pizza here in Morrison, but I've been staying away from it a little bit.
But when I go to Morrison, I always got to go up to that pizza place. I forget the name of it, but it's really good.
It's a good snack shack.
Yeah, and then Red Rocks. If anybody's ever heard of Red Rocks, that's just not far down the road from you either.
No, and we, you talk about doing a business and living a lifestyle. We worked really hard. In the beginning for a couple reasons, but one of them was simply till we could get Miss Helen retired, and then number two, to come move where we are now so we can play golf as often as we want. We live in a community to where we're up in the mountains and houses are kind of jammed together, and so which is kind of cool. And there's just a small little community here where we take care of each other and we do things, and we had no idea this is where we was going to end up, but we're here and we're loving every minute of it.
And that's the dream, when people get into network marketing. You and I were talking about that the other day. You were on the corporate side for a while with another company, and then you switched back to being on the distributor side. And you had said that was the main reason, because you wanted the lifestyle. You wanted to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You're in control.
And with who we want to do it with. I mean, that's kind of important. Like stopping our life right now, hitting time out and being with you tonight, we would never hesitate to not jump in and be a part of what you got going on. And your heart is amazing. I mean, that's one thing I want to let people know is truly, they're in the right place at the right time with the right team right here. And we're all on the same team. We may not benefit from each other's cash flow system, but we benefit a lot from someone else's success. And we can parlay and we can leverage that success to get some for ourselves.
That's right. That's right. So, and I know we can't make income claims or things like that, but because the regulatory bodies, they say that, oh, that's making promises to people and things like that. But you're doing millions in dollars per month in sales in your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't set Doc a little, whatever to show him the volume that we're doing, but we'll probably do, this year over 24 million in volume. We're averaging over $2 million per month. And that didn't happen accidentally. It happened organically. And I'm telling you right now, knowing what I know, you can do the same thing. In just a second, when we jump into this, we're going to jump into some things that I want you to wrap your brain around. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different mentality in how you can grow and how you can build and in what you can do. And so if you knew, here's the thing, Doc, if people knew that the possibilities were just endless of what we could do here, they'd actually sincerely run for it like the hair's on fire.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? So,
okay.
Hey, I noticed that your hair is getting more color to it from when I saw you last.
Well, yeah, you don't want to just stay one color. I get out in the sun. In the summer, it gets really, really blonde. And I threw a little gel on it because, truthfully, the other day, about 2.5 weeks ago, I was supposed to get a haircut. Instead, we jumped on an airplane with 35 other couples, and we flew into, my goodness, where'd we go? We went to Laughlin, Nevada, and played golf with 35 other couples, which was like herding cats. So much fun, though. And then we went into, where were we? Mesquite, Nevada, as well, and played. But I was supposed to get my haircut and get it all trimmed up, but it got kind of shaggy. So I threw some extra gel to hold it together. And, but that's just part of it. But yeah, it's so exciting. But Doc, I'm ready to jump into some stuff. How about you?
Let's do it. Let's get you going because I know people got things to get doing today. So, I'm just going to mute myself out. I'm going to take myself off the screen and I'm going to let you talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay, you got it. Well, first thing I want to tell everybody is thank you for being on the call. You've honored yourself tremendously by stopping your life and being on here. And all of you are going to want to jump in there and get a vision board like what you see back here. Tons of stuff on that little vision board, and you want to jump and get one of those. And so, if you don't have a vision board, then you're not chasing something. And so it's very, very, very important to understand that. But I said it earlier, and I want to make it pretty clear that you can do this. There's no place. There's no other place you'd rather be than right here, right now. Do I know we got challenges? Yeah, we're going to deal with that in just a little bit because we all got challenges. I don't care what company you're in or what country you're in. There is challenges no matter what's going on out there. And so we'll jump into that. But one thing I like to deal with every single time I do a training is you got to be honest about where you're at right here. And then you need to be honest about where you want to be. Because between here and there, doing what you've been doing has not gotten you to here. Bad grammar, but it's not gotten you to here. Okay, you've not reached that. You're not reached that destination yet. So you might want to change some things. I had one guy when I started in networking. He said, he goes, D, you know what you need to do? And I go, what's that? He goes, you need to change some things. I go, cool. I was ready. I said, how do you change some things? He goes, well, you change some things. I just started laughing. And so stop. You got to look at what you're doing and where you're at. And then we'll start evaluating what you need to do to get where you want to be. And hopefully tonight we can give you a few steps that you can point towards getting here. So there's a couple things. I just did a massive boot camp with my grandkids. The oldest is now 14. He was 13 when I did that one. And there was 5 of them here to do a boot camp. I've gone out and spoken all over the world. I've been on stages everywhere with just tons of people, John Maxwell and the guy, Dave Thomas, who used to run Wendy's and Lou Holtz. I've done tons of stuff like that. All right. And that's my skill set is to go on a stage and move lots of people forward in a short period of time, getting lifelong results. All right. So that's just a gift that I have, and it's what God's blessed me with, and I use it in that manner. But I did it. So I thought, man, I'm doing this for everybody else. And the grandkids were leaving traditional schools because they were getting so strict on control tactics at their school that their mom said, boom, out of here. So she took them out of school to go homeschooling. And I went, Daniel is the oldest daughter. And I go, well, why don't you let them come here for 3 days and I'll get them prepped for school and we'll do a boot camp. And we did a boot camp with our grandkids. It was so much fun. It was crazy. And they loved it. I mean, now they're boot camping their mom and dad. I mean, it's crazy. They're boot camping their kids. But one of the things, we made a list on a big, huge board and easel, which I had set up, but they took it down to play Oculus here in the office. And so one of the things that we went over is things we don't tolerate. And so when it comes to this is what I apply to in my life. It's what Miss Helen applies to in her life, and it's what our grandkids are applying to their life. We don't tolerate it all 100%. Period. We don't tolerate excuses. We don't. There's just, you can't give me an excuse that's gonna work. Number two, this is kind of horrible, and it may sound kind of blunt. We don't tolerate justifications. Justification is nothing more than a fancy way of coming from victim versus responsible. We want you to come from responsible and not victim. Oh, by the way, that takes us to the next point. We don't tolerate victim either. So if you want to come from victim, you're probably not going to spend a whole lot of time with me privately. I'll love on you, give you a couple books to read. And when you decide to get rid of victim and move forward and make an impact in someone's life, then we're going to be buds and we're going to move you forward. But until then, I'm just going to love you right where you are and watch you just decide. I'm not going to come from justification. I'm not going to come from victim, and I'm not going to come from, from excuses. Now, the next thing that we don't tolerate is blame, shame, or guilting somebody. I'm not going to blame, shame, or guilt you. Like I said, I'm going to love you right where you're at. It's okay where you are. Now, if you like where you are, then I'm okay with that. If you want to go from where you're at to basically where you want to be, then I'm going to help you do that as well. But my love for you is not going to change. If you decide to stay right where you're at the rest of your life, cool beans. I love you. If you decide to go here, I love you. But in order to get from here to there, there's some things in your life, we call these core values, that we don't tolerate. So blame, shame, and guilt. If someone's going to blame you, shame you, and guilt you on why you're doing this business and you shouldn't be doing this business and on and on and on, you might want to take a vacation from them. That usually comes from family members. Blame, shame, and guilt comes from, sometimes best friends and so forth. I remember one time I sent a letter to one of my family members. I said, hey, I'm going on vacation. And that's all I said, going on vacation. They called me and said, hey, you're going on vacation. Where are you going? I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to be gone for about a year. And when I get back, I'll let you know. And the vacation that I was going on was a vacation from their negativity. It was just hilarious. And we jumped into it. It opened the door for me to talk about, how they're always down and negative and the whole bit. Well, they were hurting and they'd tried a couple things. Well, we don't try stuff. We do. All right. So when it comes to putting together, and we're going to talk about marketing here in a minute and how you market. And you're going to market you, and you're going to market your experiences. Did you hear what I said? You're going to market you, and you're going to market your experience. And I'll repeat this in a little bit, but you're going to market what they need, not what you think they need, or not your favorite product or your favorite part of the compensation plan. What we call the cash flow system. I don't even use the word compensation plan. I do it at training like this because that's what you can relate to real quick. But when you're around me, it's cash flow system. It's how to have a cash flow system because we're still, to this day, woohoo, we're still getting paid on the work we did 9.5 years ago. Okay, to this day. Our first month in the business, we did 7,800 business volume. Month number 2, we did over 15. And then we moved from 15 to I think it's like 24, something like that. And then 28, and then 35, and then 40. And it continued to grow in parlay. And I'm going to show you how we did that. It's not this big, huge, hard thing to do. It's not difficult to do. And they told me back in the day, well, you can't do it like that anymore. One-to-one marketing is over. And we got to the point where we do one-to-many marketing. So we don't just do one-to-one, we do one-to-many, like the Zoom calls, one-to-many. And there's going to be a lot of people that's going to hear this playback. I got a lot of folks I'm going to send it out to. They need to hear this. They need to get some core values in their life as well. So if I'm sending this to you, I want you to get the core values, just so you know. You're like, that's why he sent that. Yeah, I want you to have the core values where, no, we don't tolerate excuses. We don't tolerate blame, shame, and guilt. We don't do justification. We don't come from a position of victim. We come from responsible. So those are core values you need to want to take into your life, into every relationship that you have. And you want to be the best version of you can possibly be. And you can't do it making excuses. And it won't happen doing justification, justifying why you're still where you are. It's not going to happen. You got to knock it off already and put yourself in a position to win. And that's what we want to help you do. So, the very first thing I want you to wrap your brain around, another core value is this. I remember doing a seminar. And I'm doing this big seminar. And I had this lady stand up in the seminar. And I said, okay, you're going to leave here. You're all excited. You've been here 3 days. You've been with some great people. I said, what's going to happen on Monday morning? What's your life look like on every Monday morning? And she goes, well, I got 4 kids. So I got to get up. I got to get the kids up. I got to get them ready for school. I got to make lunches. I got to make sure the hubby's ready to go out the door. And I got to take them to school. And she went through all these I got tos. And she goes, I got to do this. And I got to do that. And I said, everybody stop, time out. Let's applaud her. This is a mom that's making it happen for her family. And man, we gave her a round of applause, and she just was just, overwhelmed with the love that she got. I said, now, tell me everything you just said. Tell me everything that you just said word for word, but you're going to change one word. Instead of G-O-T, I want you to put the word G-E-T, get to. Instead of I got to, put I get to. She opened her mouth. She goes, I get to get up. I get to make the kids his lunch. I get to help the husband out the door. And she went through all these I get to things. Her expression changed. Her motivation changed. Her tone got positive. Everything about her changed. And it changed her life forever. Because she went through from I got to simply I get to. Now you talk about what does this have to do with marketing? Everything. You don't gotta do this. You get to do this. When you come from a place of I get to, that gets rid of excuses. I get to gets rid of justification. Everything I'm going to teach you is going to get rid of the core values that have stopped you, that have hindered you, that have stymied you, that have put you in a position to where you're not winning and you're stuck and you're not going forward, but you've blamed everything and you've shamed yourself and you've guilted others and yourself because you're not where you want to be. Move from I gotta to I get to. That's number one core value you want to add to your life is I get to. In addition to getting rid of the bad core values. So I get to do something instead of, I got all these excuses. I got all these justifications. I'm a victim. COVID took over, which we're going to talk about that. All right. We're going to jump into that because if we don't deal with the problem, which is not really a problem, problems are permanent. Challenges have solutions. Problems are permanent. Challenges have solutions. So if we look at things as a problem, then we got to get through this, or we look things as a challenges, then we move to solution. The number one thing about me that's kind of fun, the number one thing about Doc Fizz is when I call him and we talk, all we talk about is solutions. Solutions, 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 solutions. And that's what we do. We get into solutions. And that's another core value is be the solution man, be the solution gal. You have what it takes. You are what it takes. It's amazing who you are. And I want to talk about this because we've gone through the last couple of years, a lot of adversities, a lot of challenges as they appear. But every adversity and challenge you go through, there's a lesson and there's a blessing. I know that's old country talk, but I'm just as country as cornflakes, born and raised right on a ranch in Kansas. We did a lot of farming as well. So you're going to get a little Kansas talk here. And I might have you about as confused as a termite and a yo-yo from time to time, but you hang on. We'll get you there. There's times you're going to hear me talk and you'll think, man, what happened to that boy? His butter done slipped off a biscuit. Well, it hasn't. My butter's on the biscuit. I just go around it in a way to where hopefully you'll be able to grab what I'm saying. Catch what I'm throwing at you. pick up what I've dropped right in your lap. And one of the things which you pick up is every adversity, there is a lesson to be learned and a blessing to be received. Now, most adversities, people use them as justification for excuses to stay in loser mode. Did you just say that? That's what I just said, loser mode. I said that to you because there's no reason you're losing. None. There's no excuse. You're not a victim. You're a victor. You mean, if you go Bible on us, you got greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. If you don't go Bible, then, you've got the guts inside to get it done, in other words, okay? Think about this for a moment. Not only do you have what it takes, you are what it takes. And that's very important for you to wrap your brains around. So some see disasters, like when COVID hit. Some see disaster. Nothing but devastation and disaster. And when I looked at COVID, when it hit in the beginning, I seen opportunity. I seen a time where we could educate people, and nothing's changed. Okay. Now, I don't care your philosophy on wearing masks and not wearing masks. Right? Most people, the politicians have made this a big political thing so that they could create a crisis, so they can control everybody and everything. Great. That's what they do. That's on them. That's not on me. Whether you get vaccinated or don't, that's your decision. Regardless of what you do, here's what I know. You need to build your immune system. And so we're going to jump into that in just a little bit. And so when I seen what was going on, and we had Tom Senior at that time on our daily call, going over the 5 simple steps that I refer to as the rhythm of the business to build with. He did a lot of teaching and training on those calls about building your immune system. And I grabbed a hold of that knowledge because that was the lesson. And I started helping other people, which became the blessing. And I asked people, and here's became my number one thing, and you're going to ask them this today. You want a marketing technique right now? It's going to explode your business? Just ask people, what are you doing for your inside mask? What are you doing for your inside mask? What are you doing to build your immune system? And we started training every single leader. And I got that message out to every leader who got the message out to every leader who got the message out to every leader. And we seen our volume explode while a lot of people were struggling. And it broke my heart because a lot of people seen disaster. They seen back orders, which happened like crazy. In Australia, got hammered. Understand that. Got it. But you can build this business on one product. And I'm going to show you a little sack with a couple of products in it here in just a little bit. That'll be kind of fun on what Miss Helen and I did when we first got started. But instead of seeing disaster, what if you saw an opportunity? Instead of seeing a problem, what if you saw a challenge? Instead of seeing sadness, what if you saw a solution? You see, you've got to begin to look at things like a leader, like an owner. You own your own business. It's whose responsibility is it for you to get your business, number one, to where your products get paid for, number two, to where you get to a couple $1,000s a month, and then to $5,000, and then to $8,333, which is a 6-figure income. Whose responsibility is it for you to get there? Is it mine? I don't think so. Is it Doc Viz's? I don't think so. Whose is it? It's yours. Now, here's the fun thing about it. Woohoo! Bingo! We'll help you. Okay, we'll help you get there. But you've got to make the decision. I get to go do that. I get to find solutions. I get to solve things for people. And that brings me to my next marketing point. You're going to think, I can't believe there's a marketing point. Absolutely. We don't sell things. I haven't sold a product in Sisel, not one time. What we do is we solve things. You're struggling because you're trying to sell something. You want to forget the sales, forget the Sisel brand. I'm not beating Sisel up. I'm just saying, forget that. Find a need and fill that need and solve that problem using Sisel products. You want to become a master marketer of how to go out and market this product, for an example. That's okay if you want to do that. Cool beans. But if you go into this product here and you start solving a solution, see, most pre-workouts just for an example, if you were just going to go to the muscle heads with this, which this is for the moms in the morning. It's got all the B's in it. Doc Fizz can tell you everything about this product, how it's going to benefit the cells in the body and give you sustained energy. And there's going to be no highs, no lows. You'll, it does have vitamin D in it, for an example, which is a form of niacin, which converts your food into energy. And we all need vitamin D desperately bad. So I'm just telling you, but anyways, if you're going to go market this, a lot of pre-workouts do about 350 to 400 grams of caffeine. We do half of that in this. This is not a caffeine blaster. It's natural caffeine. It's going to help your system. But I'm saying you can go out and become the expert on everything that's on the back here and the expert on all the stuff that's over here if you want to. However, or you can go out and solve a problem. How would you like your numbers to go up? So here's how I did it with my son, Thomas, and Doc Fizz knows Thomas. He's met him, and Thomas is a guy that he got into doing CrossFit, and he's extremely good at it. He's working with one of the top trainers in the entire world. We worked for that guy, and so I talked to him about what Sisel Rip could do for him. I said, "What's going on with your lifting?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm just kind of stuck at my numbers." And I said, "How's your energy level halfway through it?" And he goes, "Well, it's a little rough, Dad." And I said, "How would you like a solution to get your numbers up and to get your energy through halfway through your thing?" He goes, "I would love it." And he started dating this gal, which he's now married to. And they started on Sisel Rip, and they started on the Sport a little bit after they started on Sisel Rip because it hadn't quite come out yet. So he used Ultramax instead at that point. But then he got started on the Sisel Rip, and his numbers every week went up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Crazy. All we didn't sell anything to my son. Solved a challenge. We don't sell things. This is marketing, guys. We solve things. And if you sit down and you start talking to someone and you start telling them how you just love the Sisel coffee. I mean, someone could sit down and talk to me about the Sisel coffee. Now, I love the fact that it's infrared cooked. I love the fact that there's no carcinogens on it, little toxin causing agents on it. I love the fact that it's we got one of the top coffee guys here in the area. He's coming to see us, and he leaves and spends a lot of time in Africa doing coffee half the year. And he's excited about seeing our coffee. He knows when I told him what bean we had, he goes, "Oh my goodness, that's the #1 bean in the world." And he went through all this stuff about the berry and this and that. And I was like, it was just too much for me. I didn't have no clue what he was talking about. But if you sit down and started promoting your coffee and how you love the coffee, to me, I'm not a coffee drinker. Never have. I watched my mom and my grandma drink 6 pots of coffee between them every single day. And I looked at that and I go, whoo, there's an addictive nature in our family. I'm not touching the stuff because I didn't want to be addicted to something. And, later on, I got addicted to cookies and tater chips and bad stuff. But we fix that. We're not doing that no more either. But with that kind of said, we don't sell things, we solve things. Do you know how brilliant that is? And how simple that is? You want to find out what someone's going through and boom, solve that challenge. If you start solving things and sit down with people and solving what maybe their mom and dad went through, or and Doc Fizz and I just had this conversation. Some stuff that's hereditary on his mom's side, that's hereditary on his dad's side. And then we went through some stuff that's a little bit hereditary on my side. And then I talked to him about a couple of things I'm doing weight loss wise. And he's coming up with some solutions for me. He's not selling me a product. He's solving a challenge. And that's what it's all about for you, is to solve that challenge. There go. You want marketing? That's it. That's marketing 101. Okay. Solve the challenge. We don't sell things. We market what they need to them. Now you can share your case study testimony. Hear what I said? Case study testimony. Case study testimony. Nobody can stop you from sharing your case study testimony. I can say anything I want about this product as I'm talking about how it's personally helped me, and it's my case study testimony on what's happened with this product so far, which, by the way, this is the Bomb Dilly Bomb product. Love it, love it, love it. Kaboom, love it. I mean, it's a game changer because you get instant impact, okay? A massive instant impact. So now what happens is this. On a case study testimony, you can say what you want. Now, when I have people share on Mondays, on our call, we do stories where everybody shares stories. And this Monday, there'll be 7, 8, 9, 10 stories that'll be shared on how the products have impacted them from a case study testimony perspective. And Doc Fizz can teach you more about the case study testimony later, because it'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. So that's absolutely amazing. But and he'll go into some of that as well. So you want to market to them what they need. Not, like I said, if you come, I have a guy that works with us. He's actually not in our business, but he works with us, and he can only talk about one product. And if someone doesn't want to talk about that product, then he just shuts down. Doesn't know what to say. And guess how big his e-wallet is? 0. Guess how much? It's a disaster what's going on with him. I love the guy, but he won't talk about anything but one product, because that's what impacted him. That's fine, okay? To share that, how it's impacted, that's not a problem there. But you need to find out what they need. This is about people. This isn't about you. It's never been about you. It's about them. It is 100% about them, you know. One of the things you can market, I just mentioned earlier, that's great, is your inside mask. We got a great opportunity to market building your immune system. What are you doing that's actually, honestly, sincerely making an impact on your immune system? So what if something double bad came along virus-wise as what we just went through, this man-made injection into our society to cause devastation? What if that happened again? And it was even worse. What do you have to help protect yourself? You know, what is it? You know, I don't know. What if I had something that could blast and build your immune system somewhere between 300 and 3,000% in the first 7 days? Would that probably, and I say it like this, that would probably interest you, wouldn't it? And everybody says, you better believe it would. So we got some friends that we shared the products with. They live up the hill. We call them the Richie people because they live up above us on another mountain. And they're amazing people. We do a lot of fun stuff with them. And they got on the products, they got on the Triangle of Life, and then they got away from it. And then all of a sudden, some of this junk hit, and they got really sick. And when it was over, they called. They said, Ms. Helen, we're never going to be out of that stuff again. And they're not. They take it all the time. And, you know, they've learned now how to take it on the road, because we just did a road trip with them. And when we do road trips, a lot of times we'll have it shipped to the hotel we're going to. The Triangle of Life, for an example, is one of them, and maybe a few other things. We just went to a Masters and spent a week or two in Pennsylvania, and we had, I don't know, $300 worth of products shipped there probably. Give me a number. $1,000 worth of products, as we shared some with others. Or is that for us? Okay, you don't want to know. Those of you that can't spend $1,000 right now, we couldn't either. Oh, by the way, when we got in the business, we wanted to be able to buy whatever products we wanted. Second thing, we wanted cash flow wise, our second goal, we're talking about realizing where we was at and where we wanted to be. Our goals weren't huge. They were just, we want to pay for our own products. And then we wanted to get a car bonus. And the reason we chose the car bonus or luxury bonus is because we knew we couldn't get a car bonus without helping some other people. It was impossible. So we focused on helping others, and then the bonus came along. And then now our biggest goal is building our check match. When you get your check match at a 6-figure income, which was one of our goals, and you know, we're excited about that one. And when you get check matched to where it's making 6 figures, now you have some security in what you're doing building wise. And the reason I'm telling you that, and I'm not talking numbers, I'm just telling you what our personal case study goals were when it comes to cash flow system personally, and not promising anything under the sun, but I'm telling you, we're no different than you. I don't wake up in the morning and float in the air and say, britches, come on. And the britches just float around and they fall and they come on. I don't go up and just I say, belt, come around the britches and buckle, and the belt buckle. Are you kidding me? If I get my big toe caught in my grundies, I slam against the dresser and fall on the floor just like you do. There's nothing special about me except I get to solve things, not sell things. I get to walk away from excuses. I get to move into solution mode. That's what you market. And we got, I mean, are you kidding me? You got the greatest opportunity right in front of you with COVID. Greatest. Immune system, immune system, immune system. phenomenal, phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. So, you know, market the immune system, learn how to do this. And how do you, here's another marketing technique that's a lot of people lost when they told me one-to-one marketing wouldn't work. And now we've absolutely blown them away. And now they're wanting us to do, what do we call those things? You know, a series to where we teach people how to do one-to-one marketing because they said it wouldn't work. And they go, obviously it worked. 2014, we got an award for the fastest growing networking team in the United States, which was kind of fun to get. And that was the year I had one of my biggest challenges ever. And if Doc Fizz wants me to share that story about going through necrotizing fasciitis soft tissue, which is a flesh-eating bacteria, and they tell me that I have a day and a half to live, I'll come back on and just share that one story, or maybe him and I'll do it privately, and where we can talk about some stuff and just do it privately, and he'll send it to you. If he wants to do that, that's fine. Yeah, you know, but they want me to market some of this stuff, and they want me to put out some of these I don't know what to call them, the trainings, just trainings on how one-to-one marketing. I don't care what you do. You can be the greatest internet genius on the world and get all these people on the internet to buy a product. Woohoo! But at the end of the day, you need to sit down and talk to them and find out what they're going through and help them solve what they're going through. And you can build a team of 4 or 5 people to take care of people and do one-to-one marketing, and then they bring their friends, and then you do one-to-many marketing, and then it just goes from one to massive marketing. It explodes, but it all starts off with just me talking to you and me not taking any of your excuses, because I'll call you out on it like, bingo, hey, I love you so much. I am not going to sit there and accept that as an excuse. It's a challenge. We'll get you through it because you think it's an excuse. So you've made it a permanent problem, and it's a challenge. We'll get you through it, but I'm not going to take it. Okay. That's just, so we don't tolerate those kind of things. Doc doesn't tolerate, he doesn't tolerate excuses from me, nor me from him. We go into solution on helping each other, helping our teams, and doing those kind of things. So here's how this really works. When I talk about we solve things, we don't sell things. How does that happen? It happens with a thing called be with listening. Be with listening is where you listen with your eyes, you listen with your ears, you listen with your mind, you listen with your heart, you listen with your emotions, you listen with your spirit being to what that person's saying so intently, you're not even thinking about what to say next. If guys would do that towards their gals, their marriage would go to a level that they have never experienced before. A woman doesn't need your solutions. She doesn't need to be fixed. She doesn't need your answers. She doesn't need your insight. She just wants to be heard and to be truly, truly listened to. And it changes everything. Well, not only a woman, guys want the same thing. Not only guys, your business partners want the same thing. Not only business partners, but the individuals that you're trying to bring forward to show them what you got your hands on. Now, this isn't a recruiting call where I'm going to give you all the tips on how to recruit really, really, really quick, which is pretty easy to do when you're be with listening. When people know you're really listening, then they know you really care. And the reason you're not getting results is because you're too busy going off in a tangent, talking about what you think's important, which it is, okay, but not to them. What you're saying is important. It's a big deal and it matters, but not to them. You want to find out what's important to them, you better listen and you better take notes. When I talk to some of our business partners, I'll ask them, how's your dog doing? I'll ask him, said, your neighbor Sally, you know, that got in that car wreck. What happened after that? What's going on there? And they go, how do you remember that? Because they matter. And when people know they matter, they'll move mountains with you and for you. Because you know what? They do matter. And you matter. Why are you on this call tonight? Because to Doc Fizz, you matter. To Doc Fizz, you're a big deal. To Miss Helen and I, you matter. You're a big deal. But I told her, hey, we're going to hang out with Doc tonight instead of doing our traditional whatever, date day. We had date day today. And so I'm all in. I mean, no hesitation, because she knows this. It's kind of a little inside secret, Doc. If we miss date day or date night, then we do date weekend. So she loves if we miss date night, then we got to do a date day. So last week we missed date night, so we were doing a date day. Now we missed date day because of doing this call and getting ready for it. Now we're going to do a date weekend. So you just made Miss Helen's entire life, Doc. by getting me on his call tonight. He's laughing. I know he's laughing. So with that said, you need to know the person you're talking to matters. And they'll never know how much they matter if you don't use these ears. Bingo. Can you see them? Woohoo, woohoo. You got two of them. And you use these eyes. Use your brain. Don't let your brain go too fast. Okay, but you pay attention. You concentrate. And it takes a while to develop that skill because we've lost it in America. I'm going to tell you something about Doc Fizz. One of the best listeners I've been around. I was telling him some stuff the other day, and he could have interjected, interrupted, and went to solution mode really quick. He didn't do that. You know what he did? He listened and listened and listened. It's amazing. I mean, I hung the phone up going, man, I do with this. And I thought, man, you guys are so blessed. Do you have all the answers? No. Can we fly into corporate and solve all those? No. They're trying to solve them. As long as they're on it, then we're good to go. So that's something real important. Take that off the internet. So that's something that's real important to grab a hold of. We had to do something here. Our internet's getting interrupted a tad bit. So it's real important to master, be with us. The marketing tool you have. You don't need to go to get a master's degree in marketing to understand the number one thing in one-to-one marketing is be with so intently you're not even thinking about what you want to say. And if you are thinking about what you want to say, then you may want to grab a piece of paper, jot that little note down there, and put the paper down and go back to listening. Powerful, powerful technique. This is about listening. This is about doing what I did in the very beginning, and I did this. I don't have a different story. This is how I started. King Supers right here. King Super sack right here. It's how I started. Took my sack, drove 22 hours to Pennsylvania from Colorado, pulled into Lamar, Pennsylvania, sat down at Joe King's house, talked to him a little bit, went into Jake and Katie's home, and they knew I was coming to town, so they had about, 35, 40 people there, whatever it was, 47, I don't remember what it was. And I sat down and I shared everything that I knew about this product right here, Fucoidin. I said it helps with inflammation and circulation. It's antibacterial, antifungal. There's actually 5 or 6 antis that it does. I said it builds and blasts your immune system, helps with inflammation and circulation. And I went into what it did for me and how it helped me. And I talked to them. Then I went into Spectromax and shared that with them. We're in a group setting. And I went into Eternity and I shared that. And I just had whatever products I was using, I just shared. I mean, we shared a little bit about the Balance D. We shared a little bit about one of my favorite products is Brain Vitality, ginormous and huge. And I just took my sack of products and I sat down at the kitchen table. And I set them up on a counter and I pulled them out of my sack one at a time. And they were excited to see what was next. And that wasn't all the products we have, but that's what I started with. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about a product called TSX, for an example. But I called Laura Bacchini, got her on speakerphone, and she talked about TSX. Are you kidding me already? I didn't know much about Encompass 360, but bam, we jumped into it. I mean, it's just, and all I did was just share. And then I found out what they were going through and made recommendations on what they needed to do some research on. That's how I marketed. And the second thing, I'm going to tell you something. This is kind of crazy. You talk about how we've changed the way you do everything in network marketing. We've been doing this 9.5 years. And I've never went into a hotel room, set up a board and easel, never used a PowerPoint or an overhead projector like you do back in the day, and talk about how great this company works money-wise and how bad all the other ones are. Never showed the cash flow system ever. Never done it once. Not once. All I did and all I do every single day is when my phone rings, which it just rang and Miss Helen took the call and took it out of the room. When my phone rings, we just solve things for people. That's it. When I talk to someone, I go into solution mode. So we go on this trip with 35 people. I got 8 or 9 people that says, D, we want to talk about what you're doing. We need some help. We're going through this. We're going through that. Never said a word to him, but somebody did. Someone told him, and so, then you build a reputation for caring. You build a reputation for not being a sales guy, but someone who solves things guy. And that's who you really are anyways. That's why this chat we're having right now resonates with you so well, because that's who you are. That is exactly how you roll. So it is amazing when you begin to understand that one. And so the basic thing is, it's about people. It's about, a sack of products and sitting down and talking. And then let's say that I'm talking to someone, I'm in their living room. I go, when I'm sitting there sharing with you about the powers of Ficoidin and how to help your immune system, and here's a bottle. This thing's about 3/4 full. This is what she pulled this right out of our fridge, just like I did when we went. And the products that we're using, we talked about. All right. And then we found out what they needed and helped them. When you look at just sitting down with someone over a sack of products at a kitchen table, I'll ask them this question. When I was talking to you about Ficoidin, for an example, and I go through a lot of challenges that people had and how it's helped them, and I said, who came to your mind that probably could use some help? That we need to help them with some solutions and solve some challenges they're going through. And they said so and so, and I said, you really like them? They go, well, yeah. And I said, well, it's Tuesday. What if I pop back over here Thursday and you have 2 or 3 of them here and we share this with them? Can you handle that? Absolutely. And then they would have 2 or 3 people come over. Guess what I did with those 2 or 3 people? What came to your mind? Who came to your mind that you would love to share how this can solve some of their challenges, what they're going through? Then our company came out with the CBD, which was a game changer. And Doc Fizz probably doesn't know this, but I was like Tom Sr. I had both feet on the brake. I threw the gas pedal out. I was not interested in anything to do with injecting marijuana into people's bodies. That's just me personally. Well, boy, I didn't know zip dilly about 18 different cannabis plants, and a few of them are going to cause problems. The other one aren't, and ours doesn't have this, that, and the other. That's been a game changer product for us. Everybody that I've gotten on the 1,500 milligrams, because that's what we'll promote whatever. Miss Helen uses one, I use a different one, but I talked to him about that. We get good results with that. Type 2 diabetes, all kinds of just challenge after challenge after challenge. We get really good results. Son-in-law in construction, he's barely 31 or 2. He loves it because he comes home wore out, sore, exhausted, helps him sleep, helps restore the muscles at night. He uses the renovator as well, some of the other products to kind of help as well. So all we do is just solve things. And then that table meeting turns into 3 or 4 people at a table. And then that turns into a small living room meeting. Then that turns into a packed out living room. Then that turns to where they're standing room only. And then you teach that leader to teach the leader. And so you do what we call an ABC pattern, where you start with this person. You will welcome everybody. The next person is going to talk about the Maurer mission. The next person is going to talk about the products. And the last person is going to share some 3 or 4 stories, and then start finding out what some of the challenges are in the room. Who's got a challenge they'd like to share? Bam. You'd be shocked what people will share. And who has a challenge they want to talk about, but want to talk about it privately? Come see me. Come see Elsie. Come see Doc Fizz. So these are how we market. Is just we market with our ears. We market with our being. And you could do that right here on Zoom. I didn't know we could do Zoom. One of my first big Zoom calls that I've done for as Sisel goes, Doc isn't going to believe this because I'm getting ready to jump into Zoom big time, but was when I helped do the Australian call a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago, or however long ago it was. And then this is my second one. You think, and we're going to use this because I got a lot of things I want to do, but we're going to use this to go to one-on-one marketing in people's homes just like this. And then when we get someone started, and let's say that I did use this to talk to somebody, at some point, I'm going to get off my couch and I'm going to show up in their living room and I'm going to help them, show them how to build the business. And we do that by a thing called rhythm of the business. I don't know how long the call's supposed to go and how much time I got, but I'll try to close it down here pretty quick. But I'm going to mention the rhythm of the business because there's a rhythm to it. There is a rhythm, and you're in with every person you're working with, and even your own personal self, you're in this rhythm. We have a thing, and I can send it to Doc Fizz if he likes it. He'll tweak it to however, but I have a thing called the I Get To steps, and we can send that out to everybody or out to Doc Fizz. He can send it if he wants to. You can make your own, but they're just a tracking system of what you got done this week. A lot of people are on the phone yakking about Sisel to their one and only business partner, and but they're not really getting results. And when they look at the week, they did nothing to read to help themselves grow. They weren't listening and involved in other aspects. In other words, it's a whole little system that me and my brother put together years ago. And everyone that's committed to the system and has done it for a 2-year period, week in and week out. So for 24 straight months in a row, for basically 100 weeks, they're either at or real close to a 6-figure income. Period. You can't help it by doing those steps. And in those steps has the rhythm that I'm going to talk to you about right now. The rhythm of the business is goal and goal setting. You need to know where you're at, and you need to know where you want to go. Not only that, you want to do a discovery on yourself or have Doc do it with you, and you want to find out what your dominant building motive is, what you're most passionate about, and and how you can use that as something to just light the fire underneath you that needs to be lit when you're tired and you're wore out and you're exhausted. That's why we have this vision board, so I can glance at it and go, wow, I better get in gear today, because that's not going to happen otherwise. And so, as a matter of fact, that big round roll of paper over there that you can see right up and down here, that is an entire plan of something that we want to build. And it has, it's just, I'm not going to get into those details. If you deserve to know them and are really building, then I would tell you, but I'm not being mean. I'm just saying we're not going to get into those right now, but we have, and we look at our plans. So goals and goal setting, only for the purpose of finding out what your dominant building motive is. Then you want to know what's your story. All I did was sit down and share my story, how this helped my back and what it did for me with the triangle of life. First thing we started with. So you want to know your story. The second thing you want to know, and you don't need to, like we used to hear people say, you want to get this thing down and all this. You don't need all that. Just tell the truth. Your story is your story. Tell the truth. You can share Doc Fizz's story. You can share my story. Tell the truth. You can share this story about someone you want to hear this call and say, hey, I listened to a guy. We're connected with him and Doc, and boom, and pop on and hear the story and listen to what he has to say. Whether you want to build or not doesn't matter. Everybody needs some of the steps I talked about in the beginning. So the second thing is goals and goal setting. But the number 2 was having your having your story, just being able to tell the truth about how the products have helped you. And along with that, you want to jump into the Myra mission. Myra mission's everything. Learn to share that. You can play the video, but still learn to share that. And if you want to share it in about 18 seconds, Helen, you can time me how long it's going to take. Here's part of what we do. We no longer allow people to put toxins on their body. We have products that don't have toxins in them. Number 2, we have products that help the body extract toxins out of the body to do what the body's naturally supposed to do and extract toxins out. That's what we do. That's a real quick synopsis of if someone asks me, what do you do, D? I'll tell them that right there. Bingo. And I said, you probably got toxins in you, don't you? So that's pretty cool. Say that again. Okay. I got 15 seconds and we're done. Oh, it took me 15 seconds. I went, oh, Doc wants me down to 15 seconds. We're in trouble. All right, now. The second thing we do is we put together a list of honor. You might know it's just as a names list, but we have a whole document that we take someone through. I personally sit down with them and take them through it. And if everybody personally does this with their business partner and has their business partner do it back to them, you'll build a dynamic organization. Because you may not know 10,000 people, but you know 10 people that know 1,000. So how many people do you really know? Well, you know thousands and thousands of people. So that's how that works. Now, so it's called a list of honor, but it's really list names. But we want to decide who we're going to honor with the opportunity and the privilege of being a part of what we're doing with Sisel. And then another thing that we do is we teach people how to call. We call it care enough to call. And just, you care about someone, give them a call. And say, I found something that drastically changed my life. And I figured you'd probably want me to let you in on it, wouldn't you? Great. I mean, I'm not going to teach you how to do the call right now. But that's a whole nother thing we could do sometime. And but Doc Fizz knows how to pick up the phone and make a call. I'd wear him out, by the way, if it was me, which I kind of do anyways. But I'd wear him out on getting him on calls and solving things for people and moving forward. But don't use them like a borrowed mule. Just use them so you get enough information so you can start doing it yourself. Then when you get hung up, he comes in and helps clean up the mess a little bit. Kind of important to do that. Then you want to be doing events. Events are real simple. I mean, we run a call every week. You get on this call. We run a call every day. You get on this call every single week as well. You don't want to miss these calls, and you want to make a list of how many people you want on these calls, and so you can learn and go forward and have the information. And then we're not afraid to talk about the cash flow system. When I talk about cash flow right now, the number one thing I talk about, believe it or not, yes, I mentioned Fast Start, but it's check match. I love it because you know when we came to Sisel, Tom goes, D, you've been on the corporate side of this. What does our comp plan need? And he goes, we're going to make changes to our comp plan until we get it to where it's paying out as much as we have to pay out. And he goes, it's not doing that quite yet. And I said, well, you might want to look into this thing called check match. He goes, what's that? And then he was thinking about it real fast, and he actually had heard about it before. And check match, I just told him, I said, here's what it is, Tom. I said, if I help somebody hypothetically, if I help them reach a level where they earn $1,000, then I would get a kickback bonus, not out of their money, but from the company and from the volume that we created. I'd get a kickback of 10%. So I'd get $100. And he goes, that's brilliant. I said, well, you shouldn't have to do it because you're paying people to go do what they should be doing anyways. And I said, but it brings it to their attention and they get rewarded for doing the right thing. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Write this down. The right thing to do is always the right thing to do. And one of the things that you need to be doing is the right thing. Quit doing the lazy thing. Do the right thing. Figure it out and do the right thing. Okay, so and he goes, that's pretty cool. Called me back. It might have been a month or so later. And he goes, here's what I got for check match. And Tom, he doesn't do things small. He does it big. He goes, we're doing the 10% thing that you mentioned. He said, but if you bring guy number one in, he said, which is my thumb, guy number one, you'll get 10%. You help him bring in guy number two, and I think it's 3% or something. And guy number three, it's another 3. And he goes, you pay down 4 levels deep. And I went, what'd you just say? So he's giving you check match on check match on check match. And then he does dynamic compression in the middle of that, which means if these guys aren't doing their thing, it continues to flow. Pretty cool. And it goes from sponsorship to sponsorship to sponsorship. I absolutely loved it. And that's what we focused on. So you want to be able to talk about the cash flow system, talk about how Fast Start works, and get into that. And then the last thing that you really need to do before we close out is master this every day with yourself, with your family, and with every person you come in contact with. Celebrate everybody's everything. There's a guy by the name of Doug Robaugh. And Doug Robaugh is going to go into the PGA, which Professional Golf Association's Hall of Fame right here in Colorado. He has won the Colorado Championship 6 times. And out of those 6, 2 of them he won as regular men's golf and won that as men's golf, and also won it seniors golf as well. So those that are over 50. He's won it in the men's division and he's won it in the seniors division in the same year. The guy's a golf stick. His son is playing the tour over, it's like in Chile and all those countries, South America, I guess is what you call it, South American tour. And he's tied in a big tournament. And I met Doug at a place called Raccoon Creek here in Colorado area. And I was going there to see how much I really like golf. And I knew I loved it, but I just didn't know if it's something I want to do every day and work towards and do stuff. And we're building our business. And I wanted to have a goal. So I went and tried my dream out. And I thought I would take 2 or 3 months. I started in August. I thought I would play from August through November or the end of September to see how much I like golf. Well, during that time frame, they had what they called a pro-am. And so the head pro walks up to me, who we became great friends with. Head pro walks up to me and he goes, D, you want to play in a pro-am? I said, absolutely. And I go, now, what's a pro-am? I didn't know what one was. I heard about him on TV, but I didn't really know. He goes, that's where professional golfers from all over our region, excuse me, are coming in, and you get to play golf with them, and bingo. So it's about $140 to enter a tournament, and you play 18 holes in the morning and have a quick lunch, and you play another 18 in the afternoon on this particular one. He goes, somebody canceled. We're going to put you in the cart with Doug Robaugh. And I talked to someone else. They go, you're playing with Doug Robaugh? And I said, well, yeah, who's Doug? And he goes, well, he's going into the PGA Hall of Fame here in Colorado, and he's won everything you could possibly win. He's dominated the whole region. And so I jumped in the cart with Doug, and we had a blast. Just absolutely had a blast. And I'd go up and I'd hit a bad shot, and it would be in a bad place. And I didn't know there was such thing as a bad place. I just looked at it as a great opportunity to come out of something. And I walked up to one shot and I go, oh man, this is awesome. I cannot wait to hit this shot. He goes, what is wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. It just looks like fun to me. And let's have some fun. And we got done with that. And he goes, never in my life, ever have I played with someone that approaches golf the way you do, that has the attitude that you do. And attitude and being positive and thinking positive is a decision. It's not necessarily a DNA thing or a birth thing or how you raise thing. Everybody can learn to be positive. All right. So he did that. And he goes, hey, I got to go play at the Air Force Academy. He goes, I said, what'd you say? He goes, I got a tournament at the Air Force Academy and someone canceled. Can you come play in another pro-am with me? I said, absolutely. And he walked away, and we made the commitment. I got all the stuff down, and I had tears in my eyes. Pull up on the Air Force Academy, tears running down my eyes. He goes, what's going on, dude? And I said, my granddaddy was in the Air Corps, and he fought in the war so we could have the freedom to walk on this base and play this course. And it was on my big bucket list, except I had to know somebody in order to get on this course and play it. And I knew nobody. He goes, oh my goodness. So we played that course. I'm on hole number 4, long par 4. I hit the ball up in the high mountains in the woods, and there's a tree, like a small tree, and my ball is at a V about that high off the ground, and it got caught in this V, and it's off the ground. And I go, Doug, I got the greatest shot of my life coming. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, what's the matter with you? If I hit a shot and it's in a tree like that, I'd be throwing my clubs and being mad. And I said, yeah, like that's going to get it out of the tree. And I said, watch, I'm going to par this hole. I whacked the dog snot out of that ball, threw it out into the fairway, threw it up by the pin, put it in, and made a par. He goes, that's it. I've had it. He goes, from now on, and this is 5 years ago. He goes, from now on, every pro-am I have in this region, I have to put a team together. He said, you put the team together. You decide who's going to play. I'll tell you when and where. And I got a whole list up there for this year. And now he's on Sisel Ripped. He's on Sisel Sport. He's on our products. His son is on our products. His other people's on our products. How'd that happen? I get to hit it out of the, well, can I say crapper? I probably shouldn't say crapper on this call. I had it hit on the junk pile. I'm not going to say crapper. So I had to hit the ball out of bad places. And I had I get to attitude. I had a positive attitude. I had fun. And I still approach golf that way. We have people that fight to get on when we sign up to get on to play with Miss Helen and I, because they walk away feeling better than when they walked in. Because we've learned to do this thing I'm going to teach you right now. Learn to celebrate everybody's everything. Learn to celebrate everyone's. Be that person that says, good job, man. You don't need to be me. I may come in there, woohoo, high five, low five, give me 5, the whole 9 yards. You be you. You just stop, leave them a note, whatever your style is, but celebrate them. Celebrate your spouse, celebrate your kids, celebrate your grandkids, celebrate your grouchy uncle, celebrate your mean neighbor. I mean, just everything. Just look at it as opportunity, not a problem. Opportunity, not a disaster. And I'm telling you, you market that attitude, you market you, and your business will be ginormous. Doc Fizz, I love you, buddy. I love the team that's on here. We believe in you guys. You have what it takes. You are what it takes. When someone put their list of honor together, I want to say this to you right now. They didn't go, hey, let's get a list together, and I'm going to make a list of names, and I'm going to write down all the losers I can think of. No, that's not what they did. They wrote down people they thought that could build this. They thought that could do this. And believe it or not, you were on their list of honor. You were on their list of the people they thought could bingo, make this thing happen. So celebrate everybody's everything. Know that someone put you on their list because they believed in you. Doc Viz, love you, buddy. Right here to you.
Wow. DW. I mean, what I just so enjoy listening to you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. I get to hang out on Friday night with you and Helen and all of you. Thank you.
We love you, buddy. It gets a little emotional sometimes because I believe in people so much. If they knew what I knew, this is what I tell people, Doc, all the time. You know what? If you knew what I knew, truthfully, you'd be doing what I'm doing. And I said, now, in order for you to make an intelligent decision, I want you to do a discovery and do some research. And I said, Doc, I'll send you an email. And it depends on what someone's really interested in. But I sent an email on the subject from DW, let the research begin. And man, it's a game changer. I can't tell you how many doctors we've helped with just this one product, because I have a Facoidin little thing we send out that's called For Professionals Only. And I give it to non-professionals, and they think they're special. Well, guess what? They are special. And it just tells them about this amazing product right there. So, Doc, I'm so sorry. It's all you now. Sorry, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being. Would you come back?
You just tell me when. You just let Miss Helen know. She runs the schedule.
All right. Well, Miss Helen, DW, thanks for being with us on a Friday night. We got to hang out together, and it's exciting. When I come back down to Denver, I don't get down there as much as I used to. With kids.
You're staying with us, and we're eating pizza.
There you go. We'll go up. I can't remember the name of the pizza place.
I don't know. It's just up the hill.
Yeah. It's where all the motorcycles go. They ride their bikes up there.
It might be Holy Pizza or Pie Hole or something like that. I can't remember.
I can't remember, but I'll get a hold of you. We'll do that. Folks, thanks for being with us tonight. I know we went over, we doubled our time, but it was worth it. Wasn't it worth it? I'll get this recording edited. I'll have it to you tonight yet.
I forgot to ask you how long we're supposed to go, so I just went until I realized I got the nod from Miss Helen,
Well, that's what I told Miss Helen. I said, just we want to have the information.
That's why you didn't tell me anything. Well, we did okay. Everybody, we love you, and just man, Doc, they could, if they just knew they could do this. I mean, it's impossible not to succeed.
That's exactly it. It really is. We've got the products. We've got the compensation plan. We've got you. We've got Miss Helen,
and we got you, superstar. Well,
you are
a plethora of knowledge that never stops giving.
Thank you. Yeah. Well,
massive research. I love this research.
All right, guys. We got to go. DW, you and Miss Helen have a great date weekend, and when I come up there,
yeah, thanks, man.
we'll go on. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
God bless. Over and out.